Okay, I'm back with a really quick video with a little tip on stamps, acrylic stamps. I shared this tip with a couple of girlfriends yesterday and they were like, oh wow, they didn't know that. So I think it was something worth sharing, maybe just for anyone else there who doesn't know. So with, look, a lot of people love still wood stamps, red rubber on wood. But, you know, acrylic or polymer, whatever you want to call them, basically are a lot cheaper, a lot easier to store, you know, and a lot of companies are going that way. So what you find often though is, this is just a stamp from my stash, Mind's Eye, that I've just opened. So I haven't used this prior, I've just done a practice stamp, but I hadn't used it previously. What you often find is that the stamp doesn't give a clear impression. And you think, is it, you know, are you not pressing properly? Are you not putting enough ink on it? You know, there's lots of different things. But what someone taught me a couple of years ago is that sometimes new stamps need to be what you call primed. The surface area just needs to be cleaned a little bit to prepare it for usage. I'm no expert on stamps or inks or any of this, but this tip someone showed me once I think works. Please don't watch this video and then damage your stamp and hold me responsible by any means, but you know, hopefully it'll help you with some more effective stamping. Look, there's a whole other world of you know, topic on what type of inks. You know, I'm again no expert on inks, however I will tell you that you know, Memento is something I would use for things like Copics or any type of markers, because the Memento doesn't bleed when you stamp, okay? And then of course you've got lots of wet pigment inks and things, but they're good for embossing and stuff like that. And then there's Stays On, which is really good for I find on cork and on photos and things like that won't smudge or come off. All right, and then there's a hybrid ink. Again, I'm no expert, but you can you know, use it on lots of things. It's a fast drying, so it's not too wet. All right, but it would take longer to dry perhaps than these two. But anyway, as I said, I'm not an expert on ink, and that's not what I'm here really to talk about. I just wanted to show you another thing that can help you, particularly if it's a larger stamp, a larger surface area, a larger block, is to use your ink pad this way as opposed to putting your stamp on the ink pad. But what I want to show you is if I just gently press on the ink pad, and I've always got my finger in it as well, and stamp down. It's good to sometimes stand up and be above it. You can see, hopefully get a really good view of that without too much shadow. It is night time here where I'm filming, you know, it's about the only time I can get to do it sometimes, the filming. But you can see there's sort of some area where it's sort of a bit blotchy and a bit smudgy. So that's what I want to show you if I can get it to work on this particular stamp. So usually before I've used the stamp I will do what I'm going to show you, but because I'm showing you a before and after, I need to sort of do both. So just let that dry. I'll just put that on a dry wipe. I have dry wipes in my stash because they're really good for spreading gesso. So away from the ink pad and away from your sort of surface area, but I'll do it here, but you know, don't want little flecks. Use a emery board, a file, the ones that you would use for your craft, you know, to just sort of distress edges or file off edges of paper. A really gentle scuff over the stamp. Just to get off any extra little bits of stuff that may have been stuck on there, I guess, in manufacturing. But that's pretty much how you prime it. And we'll just stamp it off so it's set off any wetness. So I wiped it off with the wipe to get off. Look, there's not really much there, but if there's any sort of dust particles, you don't want that staying on the stamp or going on your ink pad. So I'm just going to wet it again, bit of a smoosh, and do one next to it and just see if we get any sort of difference. Now to me that's a lot crisper. You can see, need something to point with, pen. You can see around this area here there was some smudging and a lightness around this area here that was previously, you know, sort of splotchy, whereas in this one you can see that's a lot clearer and cleaner image. So, you know, I could show you on 10 different stamps, but the two girls I showed yesterday were like, wow, that really does make a difference. So, yeah, give it a go. Give me the thumbs up if you like the video. You might already know the tip, you know, but sometimes I think we take it for granted that everyone knows a particular thing, and, you know, until we share our knowledge, you know, we're always learning. Thanks. Have a good day. I'm leaving you with some stills photos of the stamped images, as I realised once watching the video on playback that the process, the technique was clear, but it was hard for you to see the actual difference in the stamped images. So these images, close-up photos will show you. Thanks again for watching. Bye.